Hi, my name is Gillian McCoy. I'm a piano teacher based in Berkshire, and today I'll be talking about the London College of Music STEP exams. So as you probably know, there are 8 grades that provide a structured approach which enables students to master progressively the understanding, knowledge and skills necessary to master a musical instrument or sing, and to develop capability as a performer and an informed listener. So I teach with the London College of Music exams, and you can find their full syllabus at this address, which you can get as a PDF, or you can also call the office and they will send you a paper copy of the syllabus. This is the diagram of the 8 grades. So as you can see, from beginner to grade 1, there's quite a big step. And people are sometimes surprised by this because you'd think number 1 to be quite an elementary thing because it's only number 1. But actually, the pieces that are required for grade 1 piano are actually quite challenging. So I'm going to play 2 of those 2 now, and you can have a listen and get a feel for what grade 1 sounds like. The first one was called Cheerful Cha-Cha by Pauline Hall. And the second one's also from the current syllabus. It's called Morning Has Broken. That's some of the pieces for grade 1. To make this step a bit easier, they've put in 3 extra grades there, or step exams as we call them. The first is the Pre Preparatory exam, the first is the step 1 exam, and the second is the step 2 exam. Now we don't have to do all those exams. With exams, you can start in at any level. You could start in at the grade 8 if you wanted. But I just think these are really good, and this is one of the reasons why I teach with LCM, because I think with piano, with any instrument, getting your basic education is really, really important, and then you've got a really good foundation for which to build the rest of your house on. So I'm going to demonstrate some pieces for the pre-preparatory first, and talk about what's involved in this exam. So they'll get a book like this. All the exam books look like this. You'll have to excuse this because this is my spare book for when people forget it, so it's all covered in stickers and things, but normally the exam book would be clean because they don't like you to write on it. So the student will have to do 5 little pieces called exercises. So I'm going to play 2 of these to you now. The first is called Slow and Bounce. This one's called Pitter Patter. And then the student will choose 2 pieces from list A, and you can see the pieces are all very appealing to children, which is, if you did exams when you were a child, it's quite different from when we were children. They make more of an effort to make it appealing to children. They can choose The Wheels on the Bus, Bobby Shafto, Banks and Brays, Oh Susanna, or Like the Blue Danube. So I'm going to play you Like the Blue Danube. choose two pieces from List B. List B are slightly more challenging than List A. You've got London Bridge, Hot Cross Buns, Little John, Oranges and Lemons, and Old MacDonald. I'm going to play you, let's have Hot Cross Buns. And then the final part of the exam, when the students played the 10 pieces, or the 5 exercises and the 4 pieces, no, that makes 9, doesn't it? I'm a piano teacher, not a mathematician. Then they've got a little test to do, and these notes should not be written on here. The examiner, he or she, will point to any of these notes and they will have to remember what they are. So normally we will learn them by rote, C, B, A, G, F, and then he or she will point to one and they will say the name of it. So that's the pre-prep. And then the step 1 is very similar. They'll get a book like this and it's the same format. They will play 5 exercises and 4 pieces. The pieces will be a little bit more challenging. They'll involve chords. Instead of all being in the key of C, some of them may be in the key of G. But they'll still be quite elementary. They won't really stray from the 5-finger position. And if they do stray from the 5-finger position, it will only really be to reach the finger 1 down to B. So I'm going to play to you, I'm going to play it from memory, so I hope I remember it. It's called The Grand Old Duke of York. And the questions also for the step 1 exam will be slightly more challenging. The students will be expected to identify the treble clef and the bass clef, the time signature and what it means, the names of the notes and the rests. For example, that's a crotchet and that's a crotchet rest. They'll be expected to identify the staff and bar lines, and also they'll be asked about the dynamic markings. For example, that P means play quietly, and the F means play loudly. So that's the step 1. The step 2 exam is again progressively a little bit more challenging. They'll be expected to do 3 scales hands together, which is excellent practice because these scales are also in the grade 1 book, so they'll already know them. So I'll play you 2 of these. The first one is C major. Third one's D major. And again, the format is similar. They will be asked to do 5 exercises and 4 pieces. The pieces will be a little bit more challenging and so will the exercises. So I'm going to play you an exercise called Flying a Kite. And then I'm going to play you a piece, which one shall I do? It's called Skating on the Ice, and this uses the scale patterns that we'll have learnt earlier in the book. Again, that's progressively more challenging than the other 2, and also the questions will be a little bit more challenging as well. They're expected to know key signatures, so no sharps and flats means it's in the key of C. If we get the F sharp there, it's in the key of G. and if we get 2 sharps, it's in the key of D. And they'll also be expected as well to explain what the different elements of the time signature means, and to understand slightly more complex markings like crescendos and phrasing, and also to explain dotted notes and things like that. So it's all very good, and it all leads into the grade 1, which is more complex, and I'll explain that in another tutorial. So there's just one more thing I wanted to say, and true to form, I can't find my piece of paper, so I'm going to have to talk about it instead. There's pass banding. They get marks out of 100. 85 is a distinction, which is very good. 75 or above is a merit, which is also very good. And 65 and above is a pass, which is also very good. 64 and below is unsuccessful, which means that you've probably got problems. So, some people lately seem to see distinction as the only pass mark, and they're disappointed if they or their children get below that. But really there's no need for that, because distinction, proud child, proud parent, proud student, merit, proud student and proud parent, pass, proud student and proud parent. Unsuccessful, maybe you needed to try a bit harder. So all the pass bandings are good, and you should be proud of a pass, whichever pass you or your child gets for the exam. So okay, so I hope that helps to explain the STEP exams. If you want any more information, then you can email me. My email address is jill.mccoy@gmail.com. That's Jill with the G rather than a J. Okay, so I hope that was good, and I'll see you next time for the tutorial about the grade exams. Thank you.